Hi Shoebox friends, we're in the final push for shoeboxes and fillers. Can you believe it's already time for the November Filler Challenge? Collection week is just around the corner from November 17th through the 24th. This month's challenge is simple to put together because I know everyone's busy finishing up their packing, and hopefully it's something you can pull from your extra stash. And whether you send one item or 100, it will help complete a shoebox that really needs that specific item to tie it all together. But first, let's take a look back at some of the filler projects you've been creating. I've loved seeing your ideas, photos, and creativity each month. These fillers are going to be such a blessing at the processing center, helping volunteers complete boxes so that every child receives a full, thoughtful gift. So come along, I've got 5 items to share that are often really needed at the processing center and can make a big difference when finishing those boxes strong. Let's go! And before we start, just as a quick reminder, filler items are an optional extra gift that we can send to the processing centers. They don't replace our shoeboxes, but instead they're an extra act of love that helps fill boxes that are missing an item or those that have something removed from the Do Not Send list. Every filler item that you send to the processing center can help complete a shoebox and ensures that that child will get the full joy of opening their shoebox gift. It's easy to send filler to the processing center, and it's something that Samaritan's Purse encourages and welcomes. All you need to do is have a regular size cardboard box, make sure it's not shoebox sized, and write filler on the outside of it so it's clearly labeled. You can bring that box along with your other shoebox gifts to a local collection site during National Collection Week, and you can drop it off along with your other shoebox gifts. One item that I am including in this filler challenge this month is a soccer ball pump. It happens more often than you imagine, but soccer balls can often be packed in shoeboxes without a pump. And when you get to the processing center, sometimes as a volunteer, I am wishing I could add ball pumps to shoeboxes that have a deflated ball with no pump. And I actually saw this happen as a project leader with one of my packing parties this year. Somebody donated wonderful wow gifts of soccer balls, but there were no ball pumps included. And thankfully I spotted that, and I had extra pumps at home that I was able to add into the boxes. Add a few extra of these ball pumps. These ones came from Lion Wholesale. They're not that expensive if you purchase them individually. I think they're just a little over $1. I know you can get some at Dollar Tree sometimes. So I'm going to donate these extra 3 here, and I made a little label that says, please include if the box has a deflated ball with no pump. And I'm just going to pray that these end up in the right shoe boxes that really need a ball pump. The next simple gift that I'm often looking for at the processing center to help finish shoe boxes is a toothbrush. This is such a simple, easy gift to include in shoe boxes and can really help the children to have good hygiene. So I have about 7 toothbrushes here, and I'm just going to include them in, these are like little pretzel type gift bags that you can get at Walmart, or you can use any little bag that can hold a toothbrush. But I have some twist ties here, and I'm just going to individually bag them up. And I'm not making elaborate filler gifts for this challenge with multiple items. I'm just trying to include single essential items that are often needed, and hopefully even just a few of these items will be a big blessing at the processing center. All right, here they are in their little bags. It's a simple presentation, but it keeps them nice and sanitary and just looks like a nice extra gift. So I have 7 extra toothbrushes here from my stash that I'll be sending in, and every little bit adds up that we can bless other kids and other shoeboxes that might need some of these items. The next item that I often wish I had while working at the processing center is something to color with, either crayons or markers. Oftentimes we see boxes with no art supplies, or sometimes we see them with paper or coloring books, but the crayons and the markers and colored pencils were not added. So this will definitely help shoeboxes that need that extra coloring tool for the child to be able to complete the coloring book or just to have some sort of art in their box. And I'm going to take these 24 count packs and divide them in 2 to make 12 count packs of crayons. And then I'm also going to break down these larger boxes into 6 packs of markers, and I'll show you how I do that. I have found with crayons that 4x4-inch bags are a great size, and these ones here are self-sealing, and they were more reasonably priced than doing a Ziploc type bag. So these are actually called cookie treat bags, and I can put a link in the description of where I got these. I believe it was Amazon, and they weren't very expensive. So they're just a great size to be able to fit 12 crayons across. That worked really well. I was able to fit 12 of these crayons in and seal it up. So they are nice and compact and should send well for filler. And will definitely help out some shoe boxes that don't have any coloring utensils or crayons or tools in them. So I also just added a little Jesus Loves You sticker. Here are my crayon packs finished and ready to go. These are great to do just a bunch ahead of time, even for if you're doing packing parties or donating items to packing parties, and filler as well. It's just a nice presentation. It's quick and easy to do, and it gets those crayons into shoe boxes. For the markers, I like to use 4x6-inch bags, and these will fit 6 markers perfectly. So I'm going to divvy up these markers and have a nice array in each pack. And then that'll just be an extra gift for boxes that might not have any art supplies or coloring tools. And here are some marker sets, which took me about 3 minutes to put these 5 packs together. So I'm just going to stick on a sticker on each pack and move on to my next project. For my next simple filler idea that is often needed at the processing center, sometimes there are pencils, but there are no sharpeners. And children can sharpen pencils with a knife, possibly, but it definitely does make it a lot easier and safer to include pencil sharpeners with the pencils. So this is just going to be a simple little extra pencil sharpener pack. And I have these little, they're like jewelry bags. They're about 2 by 3 inches. And I have a whole bunch of them that I've had for a while. So each of these bags, I'm going to stick in a sharpener. And then I also have some extra little pencil cap erasers here just to add in as well. And they will just be a little extra school supply gift if boxes come through with no sharpeners. Okay, here's my little bag. I'm going to put a sharpener in and then just a few little cap erasers to add some extra color and a nice extra school supply. And there you have it. A simple, easy, quick way to send extra sharpeners and erasers. my last final touch filler project, one item that often is missing in the shoe boxes is a pencil or a writing utensil. So I'm going to make very simple pencil packs, and I was actually out of pencils from all of my packing parties and donating different supplies, so I had to order more. And I don't often shop at Target. It's not really close to my house, and I just don't often get there, but they have the best deal with pencils. Walmart also used to have a 24 count of regular pencils for about $1, but that has gone up lately. But you can still get these 24 count of up and up pencils for 99 cents at Target. So I stocked up on a whole bunch and it just arrived. So I'm going to use these 2 by 9 inch bags here, and they can fit, I believe, about 5 or 6 pencils, and then they'll still have room for a sharpener at the top of the pack. That way they have a sharpener with their pencils. And another item I almost included in this list was paper, because also sometimes boxes have pencils or have coloring items, but nothing to write on or color on. So paper is another great one to send, but I've already done a whole filler project or filler challenge on paper. So if you want to see some simple ideas of how to send paper filler to the processing center, you can click here and I'll link it in the description as well. So let's get making some super simple, easy, quick pencil filler packs. And here are my pencil packs. They did fit about 6 pencils. You could have done just 5, but 6 did fit, so I included that, plus the sharpener on top. And this project took me about 4 minutes to put all those together. Most of these projects here were just a few minutes, and I'm not overdoing it. I mean, you can pack as many as you want, but I know that right now people are busy, so don't feel like you have to pack a ton of items to have a blessing with your filler. And one other essential item that Denise at D. Rogers had encouraged us to send a few weeks ago with her Filler Fridays series was the wow gift. Sometimes shoe boxes come through the processing center without a wow, and one easy wow to send is a stuffed animal. So Denise had encouraged us to send 5 extra stuffed animals as filler, and I was able to go through my stash and find a few here. So I have this adorable, I think he is a jellyfish, and he has a little Santa hat on. He was 90% off after Christmas, so he was only 64 cents. But he is definitely a wow size and adorable. I hope this is a sweet blessing for a child that is missing that wow factor in their shoebox. I have several others. This one here was actually a handmade one by my daughter. She sewed up this little bear and made the sweater for him. And then I just have a nice variety. This Thomas the Train was only $1 at my Walmart, and I had picked up quite a few. So this guy is going to go as filler. I have an extra butterfly here. I think maybe it's a bumblebee, actually. And this one was, I believe, half off after Valentine's Day. So I think this was about $2.50, and it's a larger size, kind of like a Squishmallow in design. I have another Valentine plush. This was a pterodactyl, and he also was 90% off. I think he'd be great for a boy. And I've had these blue bears in my stash for a while, so they're going to go to the processing center. And I recently found this little kangaroo plush. So these are my extra stuffed animal wow filler. If you haven't seen D. Rogers Filler Fridays, they are also wonderful ideas, and she's very creative with her filler. So I encourage you to check that out as well. And if we all work together, we can make a big difference this year and in upcoming years at the processing center. I'm going to put all of this into my labeled boxes here. And when collection week gets here, I will take my filler along with my completed shoeboxes to my local drop-off. And that's it for this month's Final Touch Fillers Challenge. I hope these simple ideas inspire you to add a few small but meaningful items to help boxes at the processing center. What other Final Touch filler items did I miss that would really help complete boxes that need an extra essential? I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments. I'm planning to take December off from the filler challenge, but let me know, have you enjoyed these filler challenges this year? And would you like to see more in the upcoming year? Comment below and let me know your opinion. Until next week, keep going with those final touches with our shoeboxes and filler. God bless you. Bye.